I'm sorry, but what has Chibnall just done? Um, yeah, I'm not too sure about what to make of this episode, to be honest. Um, in terms of the fact that there are now only two Time Lords left, supposedly Chibnall has just gone and done the what you weren't supposed to do, which is what you were not supposed to do, is he has taken the storyline of the Day of the Doctor and chucked it out the window. So the whole idea of Gallifrey being blown up and blasted to other regions of outer space, that's gone. Um, Gallifrey is now back in ruins, destroyed obviously by the Master. Um, we now know who the Timeless Child is, or have an inkling as to who the Timeless Child is. I for one am so happy that they have decided to continue with the storyline and not drop it by the wayside after episode 3 of series 11. Um, I'm glad that the storyline of the Timeless Child has actually come back into fruition and is able to be carried on through um, carried on through to the end of series 12. Uh, because realistically, if they decided to start the Timeless Child in series 11 and then drop it for series 12 and then start a new story arc, um, realistically there would have been no point in even stating a Timeless Child in series 11 anyway, not continuing it, because it would make no sense. So I'm happy that they've started to pick up the Timeless Child storyline again and continue it through. Um, I had a feeling they would do that, considering there was so much talk around it after the third episode of series 11 aired, which I'm happy they did, and I'm going to move on to my next point. So my next point is we now know that the Master is back, and we now also know that Chibnall is still continuing with the whole "I'm the last of the Time Lords" and um, all that. That storyline is still there, considering about what he did with the 50th and disregarded it completely and decided to bring back Gallifrey and all that. I have put a poll on Twitter about who you think the Timeless Child is. Could it be the Gallifrey Masters? Could it be the Doctor? Or could it be someone else? I think you can still vote in it. If you head to my Twitter page, it's there. But yeah, this episode has had me on the edge of my seat the entire way through. I liked the whole Noor Inyak Khan thing and the introduction of Ada Lovelace. Obviously, the whole introduction of Paris in that certain time period was obviously set during Paris in World War Two. It's nice that they've kind of brought back an element of historical stories into what seems to be the start of a story arc for the 13th Doctor. Now, another point on the Master I'd like to make is excuse me, Sasha Dwan, who plays the current iteration of the Master, absolutely killed it in this episode. Really, there was elements of the John Sim Master there, and there was also, I think, slight elements towards Michelle Gomez and Missy, which I liked. I like when they pull back references from previous characters or previous series, because it just kind of ties it all together into one big story. And it looks like he's going to be the master for this decade of Doctor Who anyway. I hope he does, because he's done a cracking job of it so far, even though we've only seen 2 episodes of it. Another one I'd like to point out is next week's episode trailer. It was announced a few weeks ago that James Buckley of In-Betweeners fame will be joining the Doctor Who family. In episode 3, which is entitled Orphan 55, he plays a character with extremely bright green hair and a beard. I don't know too much details about his character, and I have a feeling, I have a slight inkling that Orphan 55, the title of the episode, refers to the Master, because if you look back towards the end of time, there was a scene where the Master looked into the time vortex, and it explained that he heard voices and drumming, and that he was like, along with the Doctor, was all the Time Lords were wiped out at this stage, and the Master was basically exiled from Gallifrey because of the bad things that he did. And I have a feeling, so I have a theory that the Master could be Orphan 55, or that could be the name of a planet that they're on or something. But I know from the end of time that he was exiled from Gallifrey, so possibly Orphan 55 hints at the Master's return in episode 3. Yeah, pretty satisfied with how part 2 of Spyfall ended. Leaves it on a nice kind of arc and lead into episode 3, especially now that we know that there is a story arc through series 12. It was hinted at earlier in series 11, and then again maybe throughout the duration of series 11, but I'm glad they picked it up again. And with that, I think Spyfall part 2 is getting 9.5 out of 10. Fairly high. I just want to wait and see how the rest of the episodes progress. So far, Chibnall is doing very good. He's redeeming a lot of what he didn't redeem in series 11. He's redeeming himself to us. So he's giving us faith that series 12 is going to be the big series that it's set out to be, unlike series 11 where there was a slight mediocre episodes. But overall, series 12 is shaping up to be a fairly good series so far. I'll be back soon with my preview of Orphan 55, the 3rd episode in series 12. Don't go anywhere. Bye bye. Do let me know, do let me know what you thought of Spyfall Part 2 in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as fast as I can. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye bye.